We begin with the greatest generation traveling forward to reach the past.
That's what organizers of Normandy, A Bridge to History are working toward, closing the history gap between Gen Z and the greatest generation. 4 Gen Z participants recently accompanied 2 World War II veterans on a trip to France and Belgium, learning history from men who lived it. In June of 1944, a young Gene Kleindl landed on Utah Beach as a combat medic. He never dreamed he would one day return, but 79 years later, Gene made the journey back to the beaches of Normandy. The 101-year-old says returning was bittersweet.
It brought back a lot of memories to me, and I remember a lot of guys who got killed and so forth, where they were at and so on, and things you hadn't thought about for a long, long time.
Was that hard?
A little bit, but just time kind of heals a lot of stuff.
During their visit to France and Belgium, word got out that American World War II veterans were there and people sought them out. For Gene, that was especially touching.
When he got to Utah, he stood up and wanted to walk the entire way to the beach because that's the beach he landed on. And then a bunch of school kids came around and talked to him for about 15 minutes. They're from France and asking about his story and how thankful they were to say thank you to a 101-year-old that they didn't even know. Just an amazing experience.
Every time that other people asked him and actually showed genuine interest, he opened up a lot. And I feel like he just hasn't experienced that a lot here. He hasn't had a lot of people asking him about the time, what he did. A lot of people in the U.S. just see him as a 100-year-old guy, not the, 19-year-old that was scared to leave home, but found himself in France, being a medic, treating wounds that he couldn't even imagine when he lived at home, and now he's here.
Much to their surprise, the veterans were showered with attention and treated like celebrities.
Oh, yes, we were. Gee, the French gave us a royal welcome every place we went.
How'd that make you feel?
Oh, fantastic.
While the show of gratitude was refreshing, the visit to Normandy American Cemetery was especially sobering, seeing the more than 9,300 marble crosses in honor of the Americans killed on D-Day. During a solemn ceremony, the French military presented both veterans with American flags.
Wars have been going on in the world almost since the beginning of time. And every time at the end of World War II, we thought that's the last war. But the wars continue. It's not the people, it's the leaders of the country.
Hearing the stories firsthand from the veterans themselves made it more personal for the young adults, especially when Gene talked about his older brother Cliff there fighting at the same time.
We were able to be in the field where he heard his brother was injured during the war, and he was a medic trying to get to his brother who was injured in the field and not knowing what state his brother was in. So it put you in the first-hand experience of what they went through.
He got wounded. I hitchhiked. I tried to go to where he was located. When I got there, they'd already evacuated him back to England. So yeah, Cliff made it out okay.
But thousands of U.S. soldiers did not. It's history these veterans don't want to see repeated.
What did they say? There's enough in this world for every man's need, but not enough for one man's greed.
The trip was documented by Janesville production company Drywater Productions. Organizers hope the documentary can be shown in schools to share the veterans' stories.